Hello, friends. Welcome to Random Fridays, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 999 ASMR Tarot Visual Textures. That's what we're going for today. These are the buttons you can push if you want to. You don't have to. It's fine. So what we're going to be doing today is we're starting an image what I've done before on an underpainting. And this is I think a 4 or 6 color underpainting that I did, and it took like a week to dry. I put a little bit of gel medium on it in order to bring those colors out. But what we're going to be doing with this is we're going to be creating it. It's creating from the canvas all the way up with professional quality paints. And I'm going to start with a layer of golden artist acrylic. This is a transparent white and a transparent titanium white. We're going to start there with that and get crack-a-lacking here. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. And then see, we're going to go up from this color up to white. So it's going to have a little bit of a land scene in here. So we're going to start with just these layers. It's probably be about there. I think I need to add some of this into a receptacle. A little bit of that into this, let me see. This is brand new bottle of gloss glazing fluid. I'm going to put in just a little dab of that over here in this container. Hopefully it doesn't take the dirt on the bottom, but anyway, that's what we're starting with. That I'm just going to be moving out. This is a transparent titanium white, and I'm building the sky. I'm starting with the sky, and then I'm going to build the land. It's probably going to take 3 hours to do this painting, and it might take 4 hours. So if it goes into the 4th hour, I think I have enough lighting to do for 4 hours. So 4 hours would take us into 1 a.m. 3 hours will be midnight. Welcome, adventurers and more. Welcome. And so if the paint level gets too wet, and I do have a hair dryer, which I may be doing some drying with it. I don't know, but I'm building a sky out, and we're going to next do another layer of transparent paints using, as in my title, it's all with pro quality paints. This here is a transparent, semi-transparent titanium white. And I'm going to add into it a semi-transparent magnesium blue. And this is just to build the sky. When I come up a few more notches, then we will be adding in some fluorescent red into it, into building this with some fluorescent red. So this is going to be coming in to have a cloudy blue sky. This is the first layer of sky colors. And if you're just kind of lurking in from the edges, this is the 999 ASMR Tarot, and we are doing ASMR tonight. This is ASMR Visual Textures. So I'm going to paint the edge, painting the edge, paint this edge. So this is a painting that I hope will become one for sale. It's a painting for that is for sale when it gets to that stage. But right now I am building the texture, the foundation of the sky. Now I have done this particular image on this channel before, but I've never used an underpainting like this. And so we're coming up from here and building that foundation. And supposedly, by using a underpainting, that it makes the... I need a different fluorescent color for red. I need my fluorescent magenta here. I need to find that. And here we go. So to get a nice, lovely shade of lavender, because I want to go make this into more of a lavender color, I'm going to add fluorescent magenta into the mixture. And this will help to we'll just mix this in. And I need to add more of this blue. So the fluorescent colors, what they do is they add just a little extra body to the paint, so that you can gonna mix this in really. So so when you add light to it, it reflects off the paints, but also I can make a lavender with fluorescent magenta that a color that I really like, that I can't make with, let's say, just primary cyan and primary red, or some kind of a red tone. So it's really a pretty color. And so what we're doing in here is going to just kind of put this in. I think I'll put it in there. I might run the... No, I'm not going to run. I'm going to do it this way. We will do... Oh, I hit the camera. So we're just going to beat this up the side of the painting here. Just going to move it up all the way. So it is fine. So it'll be part of... Oh, this has got to where I maybe didn't want it to go, but that's okay. We're going to be putting it all the way in, up onto the top. And so we're just using a lot of different layers of paint. And rather than use one big heavy body paint, we're going to use a lot of semi-transparent paints. Then when we get up to the top layers, we will make the layers of paint even more transparent. So it's just lots of layers, and that's kind of that is what really can make a painting. And so I'm just going to put this up here. And I'm using this tapping motion to also is a mean to texture the sky out. And we'll put it up here on the top as well. So this is a painting that when it's done, it will not need a frame. It will not need to be framed up. It'll be, you can just hang it right on the wall just like this. And so we're going to go in with that titanium white, and I'm going to add more. Cyrus Kingdom, welcome. Zara Kingdom, welcome. I'm just going to add some of this paint, mix it in here. So at this particular time, I'm just building the sky. Just building the sky. Thank you. And so it comes up over here. It is starting to get a little bit muddy, so I'm going to need to pause out at this layer here and start working on the other part, just in order to give this paint just a little while, a little bit of time to dry a bit. So we are going to, I'm going to clean this brush off. I don't know how much of a masterpiece it is. I'm just cleaning the brush off right now. I need to work on the other part of the painting. So we're gonna build from I'm gonna build a brown. I'm gonna build a brown color. Thank you, Shiela. Thank you for the praise. So I'm gonna build a brown color out of this golden acrylic phthalo green. Thank you for being a new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. And the green, and I'm going to mix the green with some of this. I can't even pronounce the word. Azilian, I'm sorry, I just don't. That is not my, sounding out words is not my strong suit. With my learning disability, I need to hear the word first before I could sound it out. It's this color crimson, and then we will start it at this thing, and then I do have, I may need to add some black to it, but I'm not sure. We're going to make a ground color, and so I'm going to get another brush. We'll use this brush here. Put just a tad bit of white in it. I'm going to mix it in. It's way too much water in here. Well, thank you. Streaming art. I've been streaming art for a few months now. And so we're going to, I think I need to add some yellow to this to tone. Yeah. That's a little bit of this white over here. I'm going to tone it down. Okay, now it's too purpley. And so I do not have any transparent yellows. So, well, this is actually this is semi-transparent primary yellow too. So that's good. We're kind of in this. Yeah. All right. So let's come in. I don't have another palette, but I have it. Yeah, we'll have happy accidents here. Yeah. And my other palette is full of things, um, watercolor paints. And so, yeah, so it's full of watercolor paints. And so we're going to start in here with this. This is a nice color. We'll start here and then we'll kind of move it in here. And so, yes, well, thank you. You don't really need to say your age here, please. I think it would be best if you do not. I know that there are young people here, but I would prefer if you did not say your age in the chat. Because it's actually completely unnecessary, but so I'm going to do kind of a different tones here. Just kind of lighten it down a bit here. You're fully grown? Okay. You're like grown? Are you as old as I am? So with this, as I explained up front, is I use an underpainting, and I think I posted on my community tab the tutorial that I use in order to get that underpainting. I think, yeah, okay, this is it. This is the way it is, and so I'm just gonna mix it in here. Not so sure that I really like how the land, but the land is, it's just to be out there in the background. It's not really meant to be. Okay. You still have a few more you can sketch. Okay. Yeah. Well, the clouds are, I'm just letting, this has got a lot of layers of paint on it, and so and I'm going to add even more layers of paint. And we're going to put this in here, texture it out on the edge. I need to let, before I can finish the sky, I got to let the paint dry a little bit. And then we're going to have to hurry it along with a hair dryer. And over on this side too. So I did an underpainting. I used essentially, bye-bye. We'll see you the next time. I'm going to be on tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And I'm going to do more painting tomorrow night. Okay, more painting tomorrow night. Let's go bring in some other colors on this. Gonna mix it down so it's a toned down yellow with a green and maybe just some textures in here. There we go. Water on this, and this from. Let's go in. We got that. I'm gonna take some of that glazing agent in here just to thin some of these paintings down a bit. You want to have just the illusion that there's some, and I might add some of this bone black into it. Illusion of this some far away some far away hillside. Anyway, that looks like it's a bluff or something over there in the distance here. Maybe I'm not quite ready to do this, but I'm just sort of blocking this in. We'll probably end up doing it again when I start finishing the sky. There. That's good enough for there. And we come in. I do like this texturing here. I like it a lot. And I'm going to bring this down on the edge too. Okay. What I like about kind of painting with simple colors is you can make other colors that you just want to add. You can just make those colors right on the spot. Okay. Texturing the land. There's going to be a tree. Lots of trees that's going to go in here. And so at this stage of the game, what I'm going to mute the camera and I'm going to hit the hair dryer and to this paint here is a little bit too wet, and so I'm going to hit the hair dryer. All right, let's see if that paint is, if it's dry enough that, yeah, I think it is, that I can start adding new layers on. I'm going to change brushes out to a little a smaller brush, and I want to bring the color. I need to go back into my white. I'm going to be using a lot of titanium white in this. I'm glad I got this stuff on sale the other day. I think this was like $13 or something like that on sale, so that was pretty good. Because I got this one for $14. This was the same price. This was like under 10. But anyways, generally those big tubes like that are like $25 a piece. Paint like a millionaire. That's what you got to do. You may be a pauper yourself. You may be dirt poor, but you need to paint like you're a millionaire. You use quality paints. I'm going to leave some of these lavender areas like this because it may seem like there's a far away mountain range in the background, and that it gives kind of an illusion. I am creating an illusion here that there's more into the painting than what meets the eye. So I'm going to bring this up here. So over here, so we got the lavender, faraway mountains on this side as well. I think we want to see if I got some more of that lavender in here. I think I do over here. Maybe I don't have any more of it there. That's kind of it. That's kind of the color there. I'm going to rebuild that color. And I built that color using fluorescent magenta and this is a semi-transparent color. I'm just going to use just a little bit of this. And that's probably more than I want to use. And then we're using this magnesium blue hue, which is also a semi-transparent color as well. So we're using mostly semi-transparent colors for this whole painting. It's a little bit more blue than I wanted to put on there, but because we don't want to waste paint. I don't want to waste any paint, but so hopefully we'll end up using it all. So it makes a really lovely shade of lavender when you add those two colors together. And we'll tone it down with some more blue. Just kind of mix it in and see how nice that color is. We can add in, and at this point in time you can add in, maybe just take a little bit of this bone black and mix it in there and darken it up. And so, oh no, that kind of just slipped right out of my hands there. But we're going to put this up here, up there like that, and around here like that. So it's kind of in here. You have to remember to paint the sides of your painting too, because that is just as important. Okay, we're coming up over here. Just bringing that layer down like that. And then we will build the sky. sky building procedure. And the secret to making a good painting versus just a mediocre painting is the layers and how many layers and layers of paint that you add onto the painting. I'm not sure I quite like that color, like that. So what I'm going to do is go back and hit the hair dryer again and dry it out, and then we're going to rebuild it. So that's the other magic of painting, is you can do that. If you make a mistake, you can correct. So if you were doing this in a non-live stream method, what you would do is you would lay a layer of paint down, and then you might let it dry for a full day. If you were going to do this right, especially if you were dealing with like oil paints, which I've never painted with oils before. So we got this color. So I'm going to just bring this color down in here, mixing it in with this lavender because I want it to. And it's different from that. So anyways, it's what it is. It may not be able to fix this. I may not be able to fix it at all. That's unfortunate. I got that song, the theme song from Newhart running through my head. But that's what happens when you binge watch, 8 seasons of Newhart or some sitcom in like like a month. You end up getting their theme songs and everything memorized. But we're gonna come in up here, just doing layers of paint, and when you build those layers of paint, it seems as though the sky goes on forever. It's Clouds 101. I'm going to do, at this point of time, yes, we're going to do that. And I'm going to take another brush, and I'm going to add in another feature right onto this painting. Maybe I'll use this brush here. What I'm going to be adding into this feature is I'm going to add right up here a moon. Maybe it's the moon in the sky, or the sun in the sky. But we're going to put this right here. Like that. And then we're going to be building up from there. Oh, it's got yellow in that paint. I better not do much more of that. I don't know if I want yellow in my sky. The fact is, I don't want yellow in my sky. So we're going to clean that brush off. But we can add more white to that later. And we are coming up here, adding these other layers of color. In many senses, even though I've done this painting before, it is actually the first time I have done this painting with that underpainting, with an underpainting. And so the first time I use an underpainting like this was last, do I have that painting here? I guess I don't have it here. And I painted a nighttime scene. And that nighttime scene can be found in one of my live streams from last week. It's last Saturday, to be exact. Last Saturday night, I did paint that. So I'm going to bring this stuff around here. And you can see there's the color underneath it. It's still there. I don't know, I think the colors do look a little bit more brilliant. It might just be my imagination that the colors look more brilliant. I don't know if they do or not. I'm going to do the top, painting the top. I need to get some more white because I just ran out of paint. So I'm going to be using a lot of this titanium white. It's going to be I'm anticipating that this painting is going to take around 3 hours to do. But I might be able to, like, really, because I'm here into it 40 minutes, and I'm just building the background still. Still just building the background. And I'm going to make the top. And building the edges. It's very important to paint the edges. Well, hello, Crazy Ender. Welcome. Welcome to a random Fridays. Random Fridays is tonight. And I yeah, welcome. I started at 9 p.m. That's my new start time for Friday and Saturday nights. Now this weekend, I'm not going to have a 1 o'clock Sunday show, simply because I have a funeral that I'm going to on Sunday. So that's not going to happen this week. And already you can see that it looks as though the sky has a lot of depth to it. And so I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to hit the hairdryer again, just so I can add more layers into the sky. With more layers, we could think that maybe the sky goes on into infinity. Does look nice. It does. You're right. And I used a underpainting. And if you look at the thumbnail, it kind of was a thumbnail. It had the color of the underpainting. I have like, if I can swing it, I have like 2 funerals to go to this week. Let's come up this way a little bit. Yeah. One of my classmates from 1st through 12th grade passed away like 2 weeks ago from esophageal cancer. And his funeral's on Monday. And I had 2 cousins that got ran over by a car in at the end of July, and their funeral is, yeah, this is hard, you know. They start dying on you. Look at that. That's actually looks really nice up there. The color scheme. And I need to stand up and take a look at it. Yeah, I think it does look really nice. Well, you know, it happens, everybody, it happens, all this stuff happens to everybody. Nobody's immortal here. Actually, when I get back up and take a look at it from afar, even this kind of a grassy hill looks better than what I came up with like the first 2 times that I did this painting. It's like, wow. I have some brand new lights that I'm trying out tonight. I got a bigger, well, since my other lights are like a year old, and I think they're starting to wear out the light panels. I need to not have whatever's going on here. I need to not have that go on. I'm gonna get that out of here. Go use this watercolor brush. Yeah. I'm just informing you, if we're planning on watching my Sunday show, I just I want to let people know that it's not going to happen this Sunday. Okay, we're just going to put this color in here a little bit like that. We need to do a little bit of a color match. The paint's starting to dry out, so we'll just add a little gel medium to it. Kind of thin it down a little bit. And I'm just going to put that color into it just a little bit. the side. Most likely it's going to get covered up by something. But you know, I like just having... I like having the background in place, even though I know that I'm most likely going to color right over the top of it. Add some more blue to this. You know, it almost looks like there's a mountain back in here. And with the texture and all of that. So we're just going to lay that color in. And kind of blue it out a bit. This is just the first time I did this, it was completely by accident that I noticed some of these things in here. And that lavender makes a nice background color too. I think I'm going to add a little of this bone black to it, just to darken it down a bit, gray it out. Here we go. Is it clouds? Is there a mountain back there? You know? No, it could be. Maybe over here too. Just a trick of the eye. And so you look at this zone in here, and it could be that as well. It could be part of this mountain, or maybe these are just clouds. But I'm going to tap over the top of this one more time. I'm going to lay down that... I think over here I'm not going to do that, though. I want that... Yeah. So I want to show you, because I do have my example. And this was totally accidental. But here it was a feature that was very accidental. Right here in the tree, it looks like there's a faraway mountain in here. There's a faraway mountain in here, though this is the sky. It could be just the sky, or it could be a faraway mountain. And that is, and so I'm really trying to bring out that detail in this, that maybe this over here is a faraway mountain. Maybe this is not. I'm not sure. But we're going to do this detail work while I am waiting for this to dry a little bit more. Kind of off over there. It just looks like a mountain, but it could be, you know, like I said, it could be something else entirely. And that's what the beauty of this painting is that I have that clear over on the edge. I was kind of thinking about putting the tree on this other side this time, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because I'm probably going to start an Etsy store pretty soon, and I'm going to sell two of the same item on the same listing, and it'll be this one and that one. And Okay, so we're coming in here with this gel medium. Of course, the final step to all of these paintings is varnish, and I haven't really varnished yet. I may do some more glazing on it. Just to make them maybe a bit more vibrant. There. Kind of wave-like. It's there and it's not there. It's there and it's not there. That's the magic of this. There and it's not there. Unfortunately, I laid too much blue out there. There's no way I'm going to be using all that blue on this painting. It's unfortunate because I really hate wasting paint. Okay, we're coming up here. Let me just test it here. Yeah, okay. It's dry enough. We can go do some more. We'll just do some more tapping. There. It's there. These are transparent colors. There we go. I just want it just a little bit so it's there and it's not there. That's really what the detail that I'm just trying to make is there and it's not there. Coming back up here, more white clouds. More white clouds. I think I'm going to switch brushes now to a smaller round brush. So I'm going to clean off that brush. And so how are you doing this week, Crazy Ender? Okay, all right. So that's probably enough that I won't be... I've like forgotten to wash these brushes a few times. And that always kind of pains me because it... the last thing you want to do is ruin one of your brushes. And I've ruined brushes before for not washing them. And after doing these live streams, I sometimes forget that detail because either I get too charged up afterwards or I'm a little bit too tired. And that's a detail that I forget to do. And that's a detail you can't forget to do when you are painting, is to fail to do this. And let's see if we got some more of that. Yeah, we'll just use this to whiten stuff down a bit. Just want that depth, the depth of field. And I might add a little bit of gray tones to it. Just for final detail. Let me see if I can stand up here. Am I getting too old to do that? Maybe just a tad bit of that black. Just a little bit. a little bit of gray. And so we're going to bring in and do just a little bit of that to bring in some variation. There we go. Last weekend I prepped 4 canvases with underpaintings to do various paintings. How's that look? With that black, with a little bit of that gray up there. I think I might bring some of that gray in down this way as well. We'll just lift some of that up here. It's over there, like that. Maybe here as well. There we go. Well, that's fine. I didn't want that to happen, but it's okay. It happened. Yeah. Mountains in the background. Mountains. And I went into my archives of photographs that I've taken through the years, and since I got some printer ink, I was able to end up over here. There we go. I think that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, that's really looking good. So while this dries here for a second, I'm going to show you some future paintings that I'm going to be working on here. So like this painting is semi-inspired by this. This is actually not too far from where I live, but I haven't really been up there in a long time. Kind of inspired by just what's in my backyard. And that's this one here. This is a sunset that I took, sunset photo that I took, I think it was like 2018. This is while I was still bartending. And this is Highway 22 headed west towards this over here in the distance is the Coast Range, and I live in the Coast Range. And when I worked in this pub, this is a sunset. This is a sunset I saw when I was coming home from work, and this was like actually in 2019, in the fall of 2019. This is another picture of it, but these are like some pretty cool pictures. And so this is a sunset that I'm going to be doing here on this channel soon, shortly coming up. And there's so that's kind of, I have a lot of photographs and so forth. I've been taking pictures for a long time. Okay, let's see how this is. I'm gonna hit it with the hair dryer once more. So I'm gonna mute the camera. The danger of drying these acrylics too fast is that the paints can crack. So that is something to be aware of when you try to hurry up the process. But you can't put too many layers of wet paint on at the same time because it just turns into mud. And so maybe Bob Ross was able to do wet on wet with oils. I am not able to do completely wet on wet with see if we can get some of that yellow out of here. I'm not able to do wet on wet with acrylics. Maybe just a few extra spots in here. Some layers. It's kind of the clouds. Let's get some more of that gel medium. All right. That's okay. You know what? You know what, Crazy Ender? These videos can behave as relaxation videos because, most people, when they watch painting videos, they're watching ones that have been highly edited. And so you might watch somebody paint this video over a course of like 6 minutes, and because it was sped up really fast. And yeah. And so that's really the beauty of these long play videos. They're long because you can always watch them on the replay. And turn the speed up to double speed. Just a few extra layers in here. Maybe coming down this way. Everything is kind of patterned the same way. I don't think I need to make these patterns exactly that way. I don't think I want them to be that bright. I'm going to gray that down a bit. Yeah. To get some randomness here, I gotta remember to do this, to make sure things are not symmetrical. And I really need to work on my voice as well to make sure that I am speaking in a calm and measured tones, which, if you are using this as a sleep aid, is also a necessary feature. So it's just stay. I'm going to add more paint because I just ran out of white. Maybe someday I'll be able to, if I were doing this on a desktop computer, which I'm not, I would probably cut in some duty-free music. Actually, I do have quite a bit of music that is off copyright because it was, I don't know if it, well, I don't know. It was like when I sang in a gospel choir, I have recordings of singing in that choir. I have them on MP3, But I don't know if anybody really wants to listen to gospel music. Is that something so many people wants to listen to? Is gospel music? I mean, I like gospel music, old time gospel music, and I don't really listen to gospel music much now. I listen to a lot of dream pop and jazz and stuff like that. Maybe if I could afford it, I would use a AI music generator to build some elevator music that I could use in the background here. There we go. We want to build this up here like that. So we're just working on the edges, because this is also, if you're just joining us, it is also a necessary ingredient for making these paintings, is making sure the edges are painted too. Different layers of paint. Different layers of paint, just layered it up. It's all there. I'll probably go over it later when it's when I have the whole thing finished. And how's it doing on that side? You need some more layers over here too. Yeah. Uh-oh, sorry, I hit the camera. So you get the music of the drumming. I think I like these earlier time slots. I think when the rainy season comes, I may start my I may start it at 8 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock on Sundays, and see about that. I don't know, or Saturdays. Just kind of bringing this around here like this. Some wispy clouds. Kind of fill it in just a bit, get some texture there. Maybe add a little bit more of that gel medium with some of this bone black, titanium white. I'm just going to put this in here. A little bit of some gray clouds around the moon. Just kind of across that way. Undercoat of that, and then back over the top of it with some white, so it adds some depth and some complexity to it. Just big high up clouds. Tall, high up clouds. Maybe we'll do some over. Got some more of that. Up here, just a little of that. Like that, and then we'll come back over the top of it. Maybe it's just more night sky up that way. I don't know. You know, we exist in our imaginations, and ideally you would do this. I would do this type of painting without a reference photo. I do have a reference painting right in front of me, and I showed it probably like 20 minutes ago. Maybe it's only 15 minutes ago. We'll just put that up here into some of these different layers, and the layers of the paint add depth, and so can add to that 3D effect and give the illusion that you're looking a long ways away. Clouds are kind of really thick there. There's a little bit of gray tones in there. I'm going to lift up some of this gray here and put it in the sky. Gray tones in the sky. Like that. Maybe there's a mountain over here. I don't know. There is a mountain over here, but maybe these are just wispy clouds coming up this way. Over there towards the edge. Sort of cotton candy clouds. Like that. Was I off camera? My doggy wants to go outside, maybe. It's getting time for bedtime for doggy. It's dark outside. It's quiet. Quiet and dark. Here we go. All right. We're going to start working now on the foreground. I'm going to just pull this in here like that. Wispy mountain in the back. Okay, now I think we have this done. I don't think I'm going to do any more of this. Yeah, no, I think that's it as far as I'm going to do on that. Okay, we're going to build a color. Brown. I'm going to make, yeah, okay, we got to clean these brushes off. All my cloud brushes, I'm going to clean those off right now. Let's go move them over here like that. I'm going to just move this to the side just a little bit. Prop it up. And my icons and my tarot cards and all those things. I'm just going to clean these brushes. So if you're watching this on the replay and you're like into stuff like this, well, this is your section. Maybe this is the part where you just start snoozing off, drifting off into sleep, dreamy sleep. Whatever I do, I want to make sure I do not drip this onto my painting. And there we go over here. Okay, I think I'm gonna just, yeah, let's do that, Bill. That's what we're gonna do, Billy, is we are going to work a bit more on the grasslands here. Let me clean that brush off too. I'm using a watercolor brush here. It's got some long bristles on here, and so you can get some more control. I need some more primary yellow. Look at that. It's unfortunate that I put too much blue on there because it is, I'll probably use a lot of yellow here. This is a transparent primary yellow. And as I mentioned multiple times in this presentation, that I'm using multiple layers of transparent colors. This is a phthalo green, and we have just some gel medium onto the side. And so we're going to be using this gel medium in order to mix. I'm going to might add some of that, what I have left in my gel medium here, just right on to there. And I have any left. There we go. I'll probably use all of that and more. So this is actually an agent that can help slow down the drying process, but it also because acrylic paints dry really fast, and we're going to make this color. We're just going to kind of put it in here while we just to figure out, we're texturing a background in here, making a background, and then upon which this foundation of colors that we're going to have here, we're going to be, we're going to make some of this a little bit darker. We'll add some of this bone black to it, thin it down with that, and then off in the distance, in the on the line where we're going to add this color in here like that. We'll texture it out this way. I'm going to bring that on here. It's kind of like it glazes. It's adding a glaze onto the surface to brighten up the colors. And you kind of want, I don't know, I'm just kind of feeling these colors here. I'm feeling it as feeling the landscape and trying to imagine and experience the landscape. But I'm kind of really just working up in myself right now an experience, a feeling, just that awe of nature. And that spirituality of the natural world. I don't know if you've ever really experienced that, but it's just so overwhelming. And that's what I'm feeling right now. And I know you listening in aren't feeling that, but try to imagine with me just the majesty of the natural world and the green and the life, just the spirituality of the ground. Try to imagine that with me, please. We're going to put this on the side as well. The quiet. Maybe the crickets are singing in the background. It is that time of year that the crickets are out. But the quiet. There was this one time when I worked as a wildland firefighter years and years ago. Just after I graduated from college. And welcome, Mon Bruni. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to a meditation. This is a painting meditation. Right now, I'm working up an experience, recalling this experience from the deep, dark past. and an experience of experiencing the spirit of a mountain, just the spirituality of a mountain, this spirituality of the land. It's something that oftentimes in the West we don't think about, the spirituality of the land, and that the land itself is alive. It's alive with color. It's alive with plants and animals and natural things and insects. Though in our world right now, the insects seem to be dying off. It's very alarming, though, to not see all those insects. Let's kind of texture this other way, give it some different shading and some shadowing here. Side hill. But we don't want to imagine that. We don't want to imagine that world where the birds and the insects are all gone extinct. Maybe in imagining a world where that is teeming with life, that we can together as a collective consciousness manifest life into existence. I'm going to stipple here a little bit, because it makes me think that that is how life came into existence in the first place, that we, or a higher being, a power greater than ourselves, but maybe we are that power. Maybe we are a physical manifestation of that power, and that maybe we, the collective we, and not just everyone on this that has ever lived and has ever lived in this universe, collectively imagined the universe into existence. That's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. I'm just going to put this on the side. Most likely it's going to be covered up, but that's okay, because some of it won't be. Just texturing what you might see on the side of the painting. Maybe some of it this way, but that's okay. It goes that way. This world that exists, black. Add some black to it. Some of this phthalo green. I'm gonna put this over here. We're gonna just make it kind of bumpy. Like that. We're just motions in here, because important thing is to not to think too much about this. Add some more color into it. This is the far, far away color. But where was I in my imaginings, my meditational imaginings? The holy book that says, wherever two or three are gathered, that I shall be there, that the Lord God shall be there, the source, the source of all will be there too. I'm gonna add some blues in here because there may be some other kinds of colors in here too. Just making texturing the background in. This over here. It's fine like that. Though there's a little part of me that is afraid that I'm going to screw this whole thing up. Oh, look at that. That's an unexpected surprise. I think that looks good too. All right. You know, I can almost just feel the side of the hill here. I'm going to just sort of pull that color down. Just a little bit of that. Interesting. This is really interesting. All right. I need another brush here. I'm not a fan brush. I'm not a palette knife user. I've been painting almost 10 years, but I have not yet mastered the palette knife. But we're going to be using this fan brush, and it's a really stiff bristled fan brush, and we're going to be using it like it were I'm going to use it like a fan brush, but we're also going to be using it as if it were a kind of pushing that in there. Using it just as if it were a palette knife. I'm going to be putting in just some little textures, little sparklers in. I go back and see if I have any more of this color. Maybe some flowers. They're in the distance. There'll be all kinds of these different colors. But the paint is really wet here, and so I am going to put this dark in here. Really dark in here. Okay. What I'm going to do next, I've done this several times tonight, is I'm going to take the hair dryer out and I'm going to rapid dry down the paint. So I'm going to mute the camera. I can't add more layers onto, you can't do too much wet on wet. Okay. Now we're going to make brown again. We're going to use this Alizarin crimson hue mixed with this green and some bone black to make. I'm going to need a lot of this. I'm going to need a lot of brown. Just going to use this brush here, mixing it in with this green. But I do need some black. Getting close there. Let me just see what the color is. I'm about halfway done with the painting. I'm in 90 minutes, and so that's not bad. That's actually pretty dark there. Okay. And gonna mix that down. Let's lay this down right in here. I don't want to waste it because it's a really nice color. I wonder if I can do that. Can I do that? Let's see. Can I make those trees using... No, I cannot. So we will just put that off on the side. We'll use it soon. We'll use it in the process. We're going to make some faraway trees, small trees, and then we need some water. Now we need some water to do this. To make thin lines, you got to add some water to the paint, but not too much, just enough. So I'm going to have a tree kind of come in here, and maybe another one over here. Maybe some more just over here, there, some trees over here in the distance, and maybe some faraway trees, just like that. Okay, that's a little bit muddy. That's not enough. That's too much water in the brush. So I'm coming down here. We're gonna go lift that paint off using this gel medium and lift it up and lift it off. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. I want a snag, and so we're going to start with this, and let's make a brownish color. I'm going to mix it. There's a brownish color, but this paint's getting a little gloopy there. Okay. See if we add that blue to it. Maybe we can get that blue used up and make a green. So we have I'm going to use a stippling motion to make this tree over here. I need some more gel medium. And it's kind of not standing out. And so I don't like the fact that there's a bit of a muddiness to this, that it's not going to stand out. Now, it may be that I need to end this painting for tonight and pick it up again tomorrow. Because that's the problem when you have too much wet paint, is it'll get muddy. Though it is, I think it is dry enough to work with. I think I can work with this a while longer. So I'm just going to bring the color up against the background. It's just back there. You know, I can just going to try and recall that silence. Trying to bring it. My colors here, I should have lightened this stuff up a lot more. It's too late now. It's not really too late. I can do that, actually. And come in and lighten this area up a lot more. Add some more layers of yellow to it. Just so the trees kind of stand out a bit. And we will kind of going to do this. Get my fan brush out, and now that one's got too much paint on it. So it does kind of feel like I made a mistake, but I need a brush, a different brush. I'm gonna just feather this in, kind of over the layers here. It's fine that way. I'm gonna add some of the white in. So I'm gonna show you what I'm doing here. I'm taking just a little bit of this white, adding it in here, so it kind of makes really a toned down color. And I'm adding it just into the background here a bit. Because I want these trees to stand out and not get bogged down into, and so we're just going to add that shape and this color just kind of like that. It's in there, and then we're coming back over it a little bit over here too. Kind of this way and that way. It's kind of just adding it in here. And then we are going to come back up over. We got that. Clean off the brush. And I'm going to reapply these tree trunks in here in order to kind of reapply right over the top of it. So where these trees are going to live, kind of in here. So there'll be enough color in here to contrast against this. We will add in another one, kind of like right here. Bring this one down a little further here. Here we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. And now I can come in. I think I'll hit it with the hair. Oh, that light burned out. So I need to change out one of my lights. So it is a brand new light panel. And it just came in the, it just came today. And so it had the charge that it was given from. And so and I have another light here like this. I'll turn it on. So you can see how when you add these different lights like this, it does make everything look nicer. So I'm not just painting with room lights. I do have literal lights that I'm working with. And so while that is there, I'm going to go plug that light in, just in case it takes, yeah, or I'm still here. Well, this other lamp is starting to, I think I'm going to plug it in while it's right on that spot there. So, okay, so here we are. We're back in the light business. I'm gonna have a drink of water. This is going to turn into my longest live stream to date. My friend who at Tropical Impress and Spirit does live streams that are like 11 hours long. And I think do I want to do that? Let's just use this color over here. So you can see the difference that when I came in there and I used that lighten up color, there's a contrast between the background there and the foreground. I'm going to add some more white into it, and then it's there, and then add that white and this yellow here. Just going to blend it together. It looks pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect. Uh-oh. I need to not do what I just did. And mixing things together. Kind of like an alchemist, huh? Painters are kind of like that. Tree kind of looks muddy. All right. Got that green. Do I have more of that gel medium over here? Yeah. Just making colors. And then we're going to go back over it with a little darker color. Blending its way on up. Tree. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be there. That's all. There it goes. I'll probably need another layer of it there. I think I want to do one that's like this crimson here in the background. It's a nice contrasting color there. I'm going to do this other one as that crimson as well. I really like trees that are this reddish tones. It's a nice color of red as well. It's just a nice shade of red. Maybe this needs a little red in it too, just to give it some more depth. Shadows are there. I wonder if anybody will ever watch this live stream on the replay. Maybe somebody will. But you're watching it now. That's the important thing. And this one too. We're going to bring that color into it as well. And then we'll come back over it with the yellow, so it has some contrast. Maybe it's a little orangey, but against the backdrop of the clouds. Now, these little trees aren't that important. This one is probably going to get covered up. As I said, I'm probably going to be running that big old tree about here. I think that's where I'm going to roll it out to, about here. So it's going to be covering all this up. So, but then that's okay. And now I need some more water here because my paints are starting to dry up a bit. We're making green. I'm not going to go and pull out any green from that that tube yet. So if you're just joining, this is Random Friday. I started at 9 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to add a little white to it too. Let's make it more of a kind of a foresty green. Started at 9 p.m. Pacific time. This is Random Friday, and I selected this painting that I was going to do this painting probably like 15 minutes before I turned the camera on. Maybe half hour before. And so now I'm just going to make this I'm going to make this one here. I think I need to lighten it down a bit more. So we're going to make a lighter color. So I want it to contrast against the background. And I might go and add a color into this palette that I do not have in a professional grade paint. And I think I'm going to do that because I want it to stand out. And so this is a student grade paint, but I don't have any of the brand professional grade paint in a fluorescent yellow or reflex yellow. And so I'm going to add this in just to, because light will reflect off of it. That's why I'm using it. And I'm going to put some right in here. Okay, I'm going to put it up here. There. And I'm going to add some more titanium white onto the surface. And this was a sort of a semi-transparent white. And as this guy Max Cole said, oh, sorry, hit the camera again. For artists, we live like paupers, but we got to paint like a millionaire. So you want to use the best quality paints that you can afford. And if you're going to be painting for sale, like I am, I'm painting this painting for sale, then you want to use as much professional quality paints as you possibly can. And so I'm using all professional paints except for this one here. We're going to be adding that into that, making a green that will stand out against the background. This light green, it's got that bit of the red in there. It's got the blue. It does have some primary yellow in it. Has some titanium white. I'm going to put more titanium white in it. It's kind of muddy right now. But so it doesn't kind of want it to, it's not really, it's blending into the background, which is something I just didn't want to happen, but it is. But what we will do is, this is the undercoat, and we'll do more than one layer on this tree. So I'm just gonna put it in here. It doesn't look, it looks like hell on this side, I'm sorry. Sometimes that happens that way. But now we're gonna darken this color up. I think I'm gonna darken it up by adding the crimson to it. Just gonna put it in here just a little bit. Some like highlights. Not quite. Now this is where, as you can see, this is, well, hello Queen, welcome. Welcome. I'm just trying to do this. It's not quite behaving the way I want it to. It's not going to come up this color now. It's going to add it right in there. It's going to go in it. And how are you doing tonight? I'm trying to salvage something that, because of just the background being the sameness, and to make something that doesn't look just the same as the background. And that's the tough part about this painting at this particular stage. And I'm definitely going to need to do another day on this because it's getting muddy, and so we're just going to do it this way. Probably will. Thank you. And now I'm just gonna leave this be for a second, and I'm gonna bring it all the way down like that. It doesn't contrast too much with the background, which is what I don't like about it. It has these different flavors in it, and I gotta remember to breathe and not get frustrated. Okay. All right, before I go on to... Yeah, I can do that next step now. It's fine. All right. You are going to clean that brush off before I destroy it. I forgot to clean that one too. All right, Billy. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make a... I'm gonna put a monster tree in the foreground, and a monster tree in the foreground. All right. Using this color that I mixed here. All the way to the top. Tree is gonna live right here. All right, sorry, little tree. I'm gonna cover you up. Hmm. This canvas does not like this brush at all. But we're gonna continue the painting onto the edge. So you got to paint the edges. Never forget to paint the edges. Okay. This brush is not working for this, so I'm just going to clean it off, and I'm going to go to another brush. I think I need to stand up and stretch my legs a bit. I'm in 2 hours. I think this is the one we want to use. Geez, a bug flew up my nose. All right. Here we got it. We got this here mixed with this Alzeron. More water. That's what I need is more water. Make sure you don't drip it onto your painting and ruin the whole thing. I'm going to leave a big hole in this tree. Because I think a big hole Okay, now I'm just wiping the paint off. So at this point in time, I'm going to go give it a little bit of hair drying, I think. I don't know, so I feel like it's the wrong brush. I got to stand up, take a look at it here. I'm going to see what you guys are seeing. And paint it down this way too. Comes all the way down here. How's that doing over there? Okay, well, we're just blocking it in. I'm going to roll it up that way. Kind of like this. All the way down there. And we're gonna build this tree. Texture it out. My cords are getting in the way. So right now I'm just painting the top edge where the top of the tree is on the top of the canvas. And so now it does bring in some depth to this. But this is totally the wrong brush to be using. And just going to use a smaller brush, and we'll just put layers and layers and layers of small layers of paint. So we're not quite there yet. The longest stream I've done to date is 2.5 hours, but I was like determined that I was going to do this entire painting tonight. So I think it's going to take 4 hours to do, and but I might be able to finish it in 3, and so 3 hours is another 50 minutes from now. But I need to just stand up and shake my legs out because I'm getting just a little bit stiff right now. You're only supposed to sit for so long before you get up and hop around a little bit, and so I'm just doing a little bit of hopping around here, just a little bit right now. Okay, I'm gonna sit back down, and we're gonna get crack-a-lacking here. I need to bring in some more of that bone black. I think the paint is still a little bit wet, so this in many respects is that tree needs to be worked on too. And some more yellow. So I'm just adding a little yellow onto the palette right now. It's kind of off to, it's right all over here. And so I got Zilron, is it, as I can't pronounce the goddamn word, sorry, the word. Crimson, a crimson. Oh, that was a close one. Did you see that? I almost dropped my palette onto the painting. That would have been a disaster. Terrible disaster. So I gotta. Okay. My hands are, got a lot of paint on it here. And see that. All right. Let's not make that mistake again. Okay, coming in over here, we're going to take the black. Well, let's just see. We're just going to just put that black right in here. I need some more of that other medium. I may have to. Okay, hold your ears. I got to do this thing again here. I'm going to mute the camera. Still, the paint is still a little too wet, but we're going to try anyway, just to fill in. So, using a combination of red and black here. I may be done for the night because I may need to let this go overnight. Maybe I could try a different brush. Do I have a filbert? Over there. I do. Let's use this brush then. Okay. Alright, I think we can do this. What am I at? Like, 20 layers of paint on this thing that I've done. Well, it's probably not that much, but it's probably at least 10 layers of paint making the background sky. And I think this is actually the first time that I've done a whole painting like this using transparent colors. So I'll just do some strokes in here. Get the paint to cover. So this is kind of like like one of those. Have you seen a double tree that? And it's gonna have a big. I'm gonna leave this big window in the tree, just to add to the depth, adding depth to it. And by having this like the paint like that, it's almost like there's like moss in the heart of this tree. Then it grows back together again. Maybe it's dead. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Like an old snag. I'm gonna paint the edge down here. And over here too. Well, let's see. Different colors, just add it in there. You add a lot of different colors just so I can give it the illusion of bark. If you're just joining in, or if you want to like say a few words in the chat, feel free to. Bum, bum, ba-da-dun, dun, 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 da-da-dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Is that a mosquito over there or a fly? No, I haven't seen a single mosquito this year. That's amazing. I wonder what happened. Why did all the bugs die off this year? I mean, there are bugs out here, but there's just so few insects and no swallows, no barn swallows this year. Of course, I haven't seen barn swallows for a couple of years. Does anybody else have a similar experience of going out in your environment and not seeing certain kinds of wildlife? I'm just going to do a lot of different layers here. I need to get up again because my legs are getting stiff. I need some more gel medium. So this is the gel medium I'm using. Sort of a glazing gloss liquid. You can, with acrylics, mimic the flavor and the texture of oil painting. And I've never really painted with oils before, but I'm always working on trying to make my paintings more professional all the time. Just have more texture. I'm not really worried about the color right now. And paints are getting dry. Make a hard edge. I can get a harder edge if I use more water. But I don't think I'm going to finish this painting today. I think it's going to just, yeah. It's getting close to midnight here. It'll probably pop back on in about 12 hours from now. Maybe like 13 hours from now, and then we'll finish this painting. So it's like a going to add these layers of this gel medium, glossing, glazing fluid. Get it reddish brown color mixed with black, a little bit of yellow. There we go. Mix a darker brown now. Kind of in this brown. Everything's kind of awkward here. I think I'm going to move things to the other side so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just using a little of this color and mixing it in with this crimson and then this bone black. Adding some water. And mixing it in down here just to get a more brownish color. We had that more of a reddish tone, and now we're building off of that to make this color. Then from here, we can add other layers onto it to make it more like bark. My microphone cable is getting in the way. I'm going to put it over there. That's probably the next thing that's going to break on me is that cable for that microphone. That was the next piece of equipment that I got to replace. So we're just mixing things down here. I don't want to do too much like that, but I don't know. I don't think I want to do that. I really don't want to use that. I want to darken it up a bit more. Let's add some blue to it. Make it more gray. There we go. Well, it's fine. Oh, I'm hitting the camera again. So is that 2 people who are viewing, or is that just 2 people who are viewing for 40 seconds and then are clicking out and going on to the next one? Which is it? It's texture. It's all about texture. Trees and bark have texture to them. And you try to, in an optical sort of way, you're trying to create the illusion of that texture of the bark. So I'm going to guess that this is not a dead tree. It could be. Okay, all right, just to bring it down. And just going to lift as much of this paint off here as I can. Okay, the blue got on there, but that's okay. Oh, in addition to a light panel which came today, I also got another tarot deck. Added a second keyword tarot deck to my collection, mainly because on Tuesday I'm doing mostly tarot content, whether it be like art, but I would like to do readings though. And since I don't have all the cards memorized, I'll be using keyword tarot decks. For live readings. Like 3 and 4 card readings. And I'm bringing that color down into here. I've recently made an oracle card deck. The algorithm, however, is not really set up for me to do live readings. I have done live readings on other people's channels. The algorithm really doesn't like people who do variety shows. I really want to see if I can use up all this paint before I move on. Okay, the blue is going into it. And just adding layers. Layers and layers on top of layers. Okay, I'm going to need to add some more black onto here. What black was that? I don't think that was the right black. Where did I put the black at? Oh, it's over here. So this is bone black. It's a semi-transparent color. For a brief moment in time, probably like an hour ago now, I could feel the forest. I was recalling an experience of being in the forest. Right now, I feel like I'm in the forest. I'm in this quiet zone. I am now into this painting for 2.5 hours. Actually, it's almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. So when looking at it, assessing the time of where I'm at, I think that I'm still, probably even further away than I thought I was. I was initially estimating that this is a 4-hour painting. I think I'm going to cut it off at the 3-hour mark. And then let's make some green. I'm going to use up this paint here. I'm going to mix it together. Also gloopy on the brush. But it's not quite the right shade I want. I don't really quite want this like this. It's too green now. Just too green. Needs some other colors. Let's add some titanium white. Tone it down. I gotta clean off the brush a bit. Need to mix it. Oh shit, I forgot to clean off this brush. So if you've been with me the whole time, and this is your first time seeing me, if you could push the like and the sub button, I would very much appreciate that. So I'm just going to use this brush here and mix these colors together. Let's give it a good mix up. I'm going to take this over here to the fluorescent one, bring it in there. We need to get as much of these other tones into it. Not quite the right color of green. We want to add some red. I wonder if I have any of that other red that I can use. I have some cadmium red over here. I'm just moving around to the other side of my set to look for some other colors. I don't have one. I think they all dried up on me years ago. Not years ago, but I'm not going to use fluorescent pink here. How many fluorescent pinks do I have in here? 3? Wow, I didn't know I had that much. And what else? Do I have any red left in those little bottles? So I don't think I want to use my transparent red now. I really want to go to... What else do I got back here? Oh, what do you know? I got all kinds of crap on my craft table. Maybe my craft table should be called my crap table. Does that sound like a good name? Go rename my craft table into my crap table. Okay, I'm gonna use some cadmium red, and I'm gonna use my palette knife. I just want a little tiny bit, just a tad bit. And I'm gonna mix that in. Well, I better not drip any paint onto my painting. That'd be a travesty. So that's getting better. It's just it's all over the place here. Okay. I need a little more black. Okay, there we go. A little bit more black coming up. And medium glazing fluid. I need more medium. See if there's anything left in this one. It's really close to the end. There we go. Just a little bit more. Stand it out. So you do the layers of paint, and the former layers kind of show through, and it just adds to the complexity of what you're building. Boy, I want some French fries. It's too late in the evening to eat anything. Yeah, I can go have some candy, right? And just completely overload my diabetes medication. Popcorn, can I do popcorn another night in a row? No, can't do that. Can I bring this out? I'm going to just put this green in here, but then I'm going to come in and go back and darken it up a bit. So it really contrasts a lot more with the background. Should I do it? Put a limb? I think I should. I think it needs a limb. Don't you think? Don't you think it needs a limb on here? Coming out like that? I guess it's there now, right? Huh? Hmm. Paint's really gloopy. Kind of work on it here. It'll be better than that. Don't worry. I'm nowhere near being done with this painting. More layers. More layers. It needs more layers. What you don't see is right over here I have water. You can kind of see it on the edge. And I'm using that water to resurrect my paint. So oh, I gotta get up. I gotta get up. I've now, this is the longest live stream I've ever done on the show. Guess we'll paint standing up. Stooped over. It'll be a hunchback. Before long, they're gonna start calling me is it Igor or Igor? Igor? The hunchback from Young Frankenstein? Did you ever see that movie, Young Frankenstein, with Mel Brooks film? That's such a great comedy. I love that film. I may need to go use the restroom here. Mm-hmm. In here like that. Mm. And this is how the tree gets filled in. How the scene just starts to come alive is when you are building. It's a light touch. Because it is a green limb. Oh, I need some black to add to this. My body's getting stiff. Been on too long. Oh, what can I do? Some bone black, I think. Some more black. Now I'm down to 2 viewers. I'm just mixing the paint up. That's what I'm doing. Adding some more black to it. Just to darken it up. I need to add some more gel medium. Because at this point in time, I mean, water would be ideal, but there's just too much. I'm going to do a few more minutes on this thing. There we go, a few more minutes. Or I'm going to take a break. That's probably what I should do, is just go use the restroom. Maybe a different brush. Just more black. Into it for another half hour here, I think. Let's clean this brush off and go on and get a thinner one. Something wrong with the dog out in the hall? Okay. Well, the limbs are blocked in. So I wonder if Crazy Ender is still on. Or is he sound asleep in the background there? Alright, I need another brush. Here we go. Going on with another watercolor brush here. Oh, I gotta stretch my back. I'm getting old. I'm an old man. Old man. That's what I am. Where's the black go to? Probably should buy some brown in this golden. But why buy brown when you can make it, right? Okay. So we are. Where was that fly coming from? I think one of the scariest films I'd ever seen in my life was called, well, there's a couple. Prince of Darkness. I remember watching that in a drive-in theater in the 80s. Seemed like a horribly scary film. I think I've seen it a dozen times. I haven't seen it for the last 30 years, though. That just shows how old I am. 30 years ago, I was 16. Right? 30. No. I'm older than that. 30 years ago, I was, what? 26? I was 26 30 years ago? Is that how old I am? 20 plus 30 is, yeah. That's right. 30 years ago, I was in my 20s. I have the hairline of a 50-year-old. This is why you're not seeing my face, because I don't have much hair left. I have hair on the side. I've got a lot of hair that's just vanished. I prided myself in my hair for so long, and now it's gone. All things that you have to look forward to if you're a young person out there looking in. Young men, you have receding hairlines, and that doesn't look too good. It looked better before. I'm also standing up. It's a different control here. Standing up and one of the weird experiences. I mean, I've had a lot of weird experiences in my life, but one of them was looking in the mirror and seeing a stranger look back at you. But I don't get that experience anymore. Not recognizing that you grew older, you grew up. I'm going to take this and extend it off. Oh, no. That's no good. Crapo, wappo. Go away, fly. What if I can just repair that some other ways? Probably later. Later I can repair it. Look at that. That's an interesting shape from the paint that fall into there. Look at that. Do divination on paint in the bowl? I think I could do that. Spin a story. See, these are all kind of related skills. Being an artist and being a diviner. One doesn't think that, but that is totally the truth. I mean, let's put this down in here. I'm gonna fix that thing on the edge there later. Getting these layers in. Go away. Go away, fly. It's like the only fly left alive is in my house, and it's your pet fly, huh? The back is getting stiff. All right. Officially, I have been on for 3 hours, which is longer than I have ever done a live stream before in my life. I wonder how Amanda does those 11-hour long live streams. It's got a lot of paint on here. It's doing light little touches. Light touches. What is that on the side of the brush there? Is that like something that doesn't need to end up on the painting? That's right. At this point in time, I can tell that there's another, it's going to take another 2 hours to finish this painting. And I guess that doesn't look that bad. I really would want thinner strokes. Sorry, my back hurts. It's so stiff. Oh, I love those colors up there. Colors up there in the sky. Okay, I'm gonna try and sit back down again. This is really... Oh, sorry, I hit the camera again. And I need to change an orientation here. Okay. I'm going to move this over here like this. I'm going to take all these brushes and move them out of the way. I got too much stuff on my tabletop here. Shall I move the whole camera over so it's tilted all the same? I can do that, you know. Let's take all these brushes and move them out of the way because I don't need to use them right now. Oh, I know what I'm going to do with them. I got this container of water. I can put them all into here. Oh, no. And this way they don't get stiff from... There we go. I'll put that out of my way. Okay, I didn't use that brush. Okay. And then I'm going to move this over like this. Okay. Oh, my battery's about ready to run out. Okay. That shows that I will not be on here too much longer then. Do I have a thinner brush? Yeah, let's try this one. Thank you, Aziru. Welcome. Go away, fly. Yeah, I hear you. I see you there. I am working on this tree. What was different about this one, Zero, is that I did a underpainting under it, and which I did made up the canvases last weekend, and they took a long time to dry. Okay, stuff is getting in the way here. So we're going to make these limbs. Now the tree is actually nowhere near being complete. It is. I have multiple layers more until I get it into a shape that it will be acceptable. So where's Oliver at tonight with his... My phone needs to be charged up again. And I am actually in that boat where my phone needs to be charged up. And so making these little branches coming off. This detail work is a step. This is the part where it takes forever to do these final details. The initial blocking and all that stuff. It's kind of like a journey. I like this. The journey of painting. Now that one looks a little bit thicker. From here, it looks like it's too thick, so we'll shore that up a bit. So is Azuro an anime guy? Is that what that is? Hmm. Hmm. Oh, that's the name you made, and just found the picture on that because I've seen that you're saying when I was like trying to find your channel, I seen a lot of other channels that have the same exact name with or similar names with seems like some anime characters or something on it. That's what I was curious about. I see. You're right. At the handle, searching for the handle, but I didn't know what your handle was. But I did find you. I went back into the chat and I found your channel that way. There's too much paint on this brush. I don't want it to get that gloopy kind of a thing going on. Hmm. I should go in with a lighter value color, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to come back on probably like 12 hours from now. Probably not. Probably like, yeah. So like tomorrow, my regular show is at 9, but I'm going to do a pop-up tomorrow afternoon because um, on Sunday, I'm going to a funeral on Sunday. This is kind of too muddy together, isn't it? Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I have that mask. I don't have that channel yet. I mean, I don't have that store yet, but you just won't be getting that mask by Halloween, is what you're trying to say. Do you have like um what kind of employers exist in your area? Do they have like I know I worked in a well my first job was working in the family business and my dad owned a lumber mill, and so my first job was working in a lumber mill, and doing pulling green chain, and I don't want to do too much like that. We can sometimes you can overdo these things. And then my second job was working in a cannery during the summer months, and that was when the mill when it was during a real bad economic downturn. Well, there and also it was a bad economic downturn, and everyone in the family had to go out and get a job, and so it wasn't just me. Me and my dad went and worked at a cannery, and then my mother and my sister they worked at a local restaurant, and my sister wait staffed, and my mom cashiered. There were some hard times. But, yeah, 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 you know what? That was the age that I started pulling green chain in that, in which I worked under, I worked, yeah, I was 14 years old pulling green chain, piling lumber. That was what I was doing at 14. And but unfortunately, with our laws, yeah, you got fast food, washing dishes. I've never actually worked in fast food before. That was one thing I can't tell. I never have done fast food, and I'm gonna put this clear out down over here and do the edge. Yeah, and also have to be you have to be 18 really to work in a lumber mill around machines. You could probably get away with it at 16, but if it was like, so I'm just painting over the edge here on the top edge. But working in restaurants is actually kind of fun. But believe it or not, I the first restaurant job I actually the first time I worked in an actual literal restaurant was not too long ago. It was not long ago at all. And I went to work in a casino, and but I did wash dishes in my mid 20s, and that was actually fun. It wasn't bad. It was better than I was expecting it to be. It was a job. I needed a job, and we did it. I'm just gonna finish out the paint on this. Paint is really wet on here. It's gonna need to dry overnight before I can really effectively add more to it. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna show this. I bought a used tarot deck. This is like the second used tarot deck I've bought. Maybe I'll show it off tomorrow. I don't know. I've been on here 3.5 hours. Boy, can I just make it a full 3.5 hours? Yeah, I know you don't have a casino and that's a um casinos jobs are not teenager jobs. I mean, you may, go and get into one and wash dishes. Casino jobs are adult jobs. They're career jobs. They're not um, anywhere from, because they don't really want, they don't want teenagers working for them. They if you're in like a tribal casino, yeah, you will get those opportunities to work in a casino, um, and so forth. But realistically speaking, casinos do not want kids working for them. They want people who don't have obligations like school and things like that. They want people who can do their 30 or 40 hours a week and sometimes more, 30, 40, 50 hours a week. They offer benefits, and they're career jobs, and you can make a career out of food service, out of being a server, and if that's something you want to do as a career, casinos are good places to do that because if you are charming, if you're a charming individual and with like being a wait staff person, you can make a lot of money uh, in alcohol service or as a wait staff person in doing like for instance this is going on statistics that are 10 years old, is that young women who are good looking and charming, and this is going back 10, 20 years ago, can make $100,000 in a Las Vegas casino as a cocktail waitress. That there have to be good looking, you have to be charming, and have to be able to multitask and do all those wait staff things and be fast. Um, a good and so that type of, because most men want a pretty young girl, like under 30, waiting on them. I mean, that's just the world. That's just the world it is. Um, yeah, yeah, and then men can be those servers too, but men have to work harder than a pretty woman does, and men, um, and I know I've known a lot of men, and some of them that were damn near 70 years of age, who made more money as a server, cocktail servers, than many of the really pretty girls did. The pretty women. And when I'm speaking about girls here, I'm talking about women that are over 21 and under 40 years of age. And so they're really not girls. They're literal women, and many of them, are married and all that, and have children and so forth. And so that a because you have to be 21 to work in a casino, and especially you have to be 21 to be an alcohol server. And welcome, welcome. This is my longest stream ever, Amanda, and I was like thinking about you, and it's 3.5 hours into it, and I'm done on this painting as much as I can do. And I was gonna go show this used tarot deck that I got that came in the mail today, but I was just telling Zero here about casino work, and yeah. Well, it does add up, and so you work in a casino. If that is something you want to do, if you want to work in food and beverage, be a food and beverage worker. If you want to be, a food and beverage worker, and you want to develop those skills into customer service skills, you can make a really good living in a casino, but casinos are hard to work for. They're really hard places to work for. I couldn't hack it. I'm telling you that. I couldn't hack it. I had I worked for what, two stretches of 3 years at this one tribal casino that's not too far from where I live, and I had migraines every day, but it was just I got, I just, and then it was just the pressures and everything, and so I think I came to it too old. I came to doing that kind of work when I was over 40 years of age. I'm 56 now, and so I started bartending when I was 50 years old, and that was when I was like 49, 50 when I was learning. So you're hoping to get into the stock market and make some really good money. Do some sales. Now my oldest niece, Zero, she is a salesperson, and she has like a 40 state sales area in the United States, and she sells like she works like in sleep medicine industry. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually that the working as those blackjack dealers, they can make it pretty good money, but um you can do that because a lot of times I mean out here they do tip pools. So I just going by the casino that I worked in, and the highest paid floor staff worker was the slot cashiers. Those are the guys who had a they brought the jackpots out. So if you won a jackpot on a slot machine, or you needed to change your $100 bill into ones or whatever, they would run around with a money belt, and they would change your. Well, they are in the favor of the casino, but you have to think of the fact that no one's twisting anybody's arm to go into a casino. I know there's some people who are addicts. They're compulsive gamblers, but the some majority of gamblers are not compulsive gamblers. They are recreational gamblers, and so yes, you're going to run into compulsive gamblers, but the some majority of the gamblers you're going to run into are not compulsive gamblers, and they are playing on a budget. I played on a budget, and that's right. And you can work in a casino without gambling. But for the first 3 years that I worked in a casino, I didn't do any gambling. What I did was I was a food and beverage cashier. I cashiered in the buffet, and I sold hot dogs and nachos and sandwiches in the bingo hall. And that's mainly what I did. For 3 years, I sold hot dogs, popcorn, and so forth in the bingo hall. And then, and that was fun. And I got to know everybody, and there were all these, and they're such wonderful people that I got to know. And that's the thing is there's that. And yes, the casinos are one-way banks. I mean, they're essentially a one-way bank. But I guess what I was saying is that and I got sidetracked about how some of these tip pools work, that the guy that runs around and gives the jackpots is the person who, when they make those tip pools, that's the floor person who probably makes the most amount of money. They make between $40 and $50 an hour. Your minimum wage plus the tip pool, and it equals to about $40 to $50 an hour, and it could be lower, like 30. And yeah, and then if you're a blackjack dealer, your wage is like minimum wage plus the tip pool, which is probably going to be someplace between $25 and $40 an hour. Yeah, yeah. And then your bartenders make roughly around $50 an hour. But bartending is like one of the harder jobs to do in a casino, because you are responsible for so many. It's a hard job because you're not supposed to sell liquor to people who are drunk. At least around here, and the tribal casinos are always worried about losing their liquor license, and they make bank on the liquor. They make more money on the liquor than they do on the gambling. I mean, the percentage wise, because of what the payouts are and everything else. And so, like, like for instance, I remember because the fifth of this well vodka that they sold was essentially one selling one drink paid for I think they got those bottles for like $3 or $4 wholesale. So yeah, yeah, yeah. That's kind of cool. But yeah, yeah. So I mean, as far as like casinos are concerned, they make more money, most of them, because with the buying power that they have for buying booze, they can buy it for cheaper than any other bars or restaurants or anything around, and so they really make bank on selling booze. And that's where, but with that being said, if you're an alcohol server, you're not allowed to serve liquor until a person is fall down drunk. I mean, and that's where I got into trouble, is because there was I served I served people who were drunk or became drunk like that, and then I got in trouble. No, they don't sell their booze for cheap. They buy it for cheap. It's buy low and sell high. This is economic. This is how you make money in anything when you're selling. You buy low and you sell high, and so they buy their liquor and they buy their beer at far lower prices than than you could, you know, than you can anywhere else. And so that buying low, like, I had people tell me that, oh, you need to upsell and you need to upsell, but yeah, you upsell and you maybe you make more money on tips, but yeah, I know. But the thing is Zero, is if they have to drive there. So if your tribal casino is in the middle of nowhere, like I live in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I live like 25 miles from any nearest town that's of like any city, the small size city. And so when I go buy groceries, I'm driving 25 miles to go buy groceries, so I don't have to pay $10 for a dozen of eggs. If I want to go to my local town that's not too far away, it's $10 for a dozen of eggs. It's $15 for a pound of cheese. I can't really afford to pay those prices, so I drive to the next larger city. And yeah, yeah, semi-pro pool player. Yeah. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say about that stuff. I can talk a lot about casinos and what it's like to work there, and I mean they're stable jobs, but they're really super hard jobs, and but yeah, but maybe they were just hard for me. You know, as you were, I've talked about her channel more than one. I think once already on this live stream. I've yeah, yeah, they do. They make bank, and in like in the neighborhood that I live in a house that's across the way is one of the supervisors of the casino. My next door neighbor, right across the cross, just right across from where I live, retired from that casino as an electrician. He was a retired electrician, and he spent the last 10 years of his working career working for that casino as an electrician, and he was also a county electrician. And then another neighbor, he and his wife both work for the casino. One of them works in HR, and for yeah. So I'm gonna let's yeah. Mm, yeah. Well, I don't have one of those signs about solicitations here, but I don't. It's fine. Well, this is. I'm gonna move this painting out of the way. It's not. It's. I bought it used, and so I was. The last time I bought a used deck, it didn't. It was missing some of the items, and so this was not missing anything. It's just one of the box was kind of torn. I need to move this out of the way here. So supposedly it is it's a keyword deck, and so supposedly it's supposed to be on the universal weight kind of a form. So I just want to say I don't know that I think that the colors are kind of muted. I did not paint that on a carton. Hmm. So I want to take a look at a couple of these just to check out the coloring for this universal weight. Because I was like thinking the colors kind of looked at a little bit. Let's just take a look, few of these here. Because it's supposed to be like based on the universal weight. I'm going to stick my arm right in this palette of paint, and I don't really want to do that. Oh yeah, yeah, I love this. I love this deck, man. This is the tiny universal weight, and because I like the mini decks. I really like the mini decks, and this is the smallest mini deck on the market too. So I was going to look at a few of these cards here just to compare the colors because it's supposed to be the same design. So I got the Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, look, it is actually. So this is the same. The same. So the colors don't. The colors look fine. So when I saw that U.S. Games had a keyword deck, 'cause I have another keyword deck, but this one was on a tarot deck that I wanted in a fuller size. So yeah, you can see that they are the colors are pretty much the same. Yeah, it does. And so that one matches. Now let's go take a look at some of these other ones. It came pre-shuffled, so but I put it in order because I wasn't quite sure. You know, when you buy used items, you want to make sure that everything is there. Because I bought another used item and it was missing the guidebook. And oh, they're for divination. So you can use tarot cards to. You could play a literal game with them, but kind of like, you know what a dowsing rods are, Zero? It's sort of like for digging into your subconscious mind. That's what you can use tarot cards for. Is digging into your subconscious mind. And they kind of, and it really is amazing that it does actually work that way too. So the next one I want to look at is what the Sum of Wands. Or was it Five of Wands? Six of Wands? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're like big alien wrenches. I use it. I use it like the same way that I used to use journaling to figure out what I was feeling. That's kind of how I use tarot cards for myself personally. So yeah, the color scheme matches and is the same. Yeah, that's cool. So that's good. That one matches. Let's just go take a look at some of these other ones. We got a swords, King of Swords. No, it's the Queen of Swords. Yeah. Then we got that Queen of Swords. And this one also matches too. Yeah, so it's like it's just a little bit, the colors are just a little bit more muted than the Radiant. And then, so I'm guessing the whole thing is going to match. Yeah. Yeah, that matches too. Yeah, that's cool. And then the last one, well, that was the Queen of Wands. That was over there. I'm sure the Queen of Wands matches as well. And this one here, so it's a match. Yeah. So they all match. And so, like, if we're gonna take if we take a look at, let's say, this keyword deck, I never liked this one because it had this funky smell to it, and this has a lot of. I think you showed one of these on your channel the other night. Now let's just take a look at this card and we'll compare. Now, granted, this has a lot more information on it. You know, it has some astrological information and but I don't really know astrology, so that stuff I don't really, it doesn't really mean anything to me. So let's put these back in there before they get lost or something. So if we kind of look at, I did a 0. Did you get mine? I sent it back. Oh, did you send me another one? So you're looking at like upright meaning. Here, putting in time, effort, and reaping the rewards, investment. So it's like tending your own story. Okay, be patient, and this is just more cut and dry. Yeah, well, you know, since I don't have all the cards memorized, Amanda, that's why. But when I saw that there was a keyword tarot deck in the universal weight, and I was really looking for wanted a larger universal weight, I decided that I needed to add this to my collection. And I like the card design in this one better than in this one. And so yeah, because it's like when they do these copy ones, it's almost like they're not really trying to they take the line work as it is, and I did respond back to your email. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, and that's the thing is that this one has, it's better because it's they took the care to make it their own rather than just to take the off copyright stuff and the photocopies and then, you know, put it together like that. That's kind of the way I kind of looked at it, but this was my very first tarot deck anyway, the very first one. But the first one that the first one that I liked, really, the first one that I liked is a Y spell deck. Where's that one at? And so this is my favorite, pretty much my favorite, and followed by, and then this is my first real tarot deck. My first real tarot deck is this one here. And I'm going to put these things away before they get lost. I do. It's like I have a lot. I have a lot. I do have like tarot in the I don't know, it's kind of easy to okay, well, I'll put that away later. I drained my power down to 0. So I guess I'm done here. So yeah. I'm going to have to end this stream here, I guess.